Okay, team, welcome in. Hopefully, this works and I don't have to make anyone seasick today. Today is Moon's Day, Monday, and so since these decks all have a moon card in them, I'm going to be looking for the moon card and pulling out what cards are around it just to get some context. Um, let's comment. This is my personal reading, but as a member of collective, maybe it can speak to collective. So please, I'm not advising you. I'm not even really advising me. It's just for fun, right? Um, but if it resonates, it resonates. If you're like, oh man, that's what I gotta do, it's not for you. Yeah? If there's fear or anxiety or like, ugh, really? It's not for you. Don't worry about it. So we're clearing out any riffraff, any tricksters, any riddlers, any misleading messages, fear, anxiety, doubt, assumption, and let us call in joy, peace, fun, optimism, clarity. We're calling in our guides and our messages that are going to be beneficial, uplifting, and empowering. Okay? And maybe fun because Moon is in a fire sign. Moon is in Aries today, Monday, December 9th. Timeless reading. If you come across this and you're like, oh wow, it's hitting, it's hitting, don't worry about it. Don't overthink it. Sun is in Sagittarius, so these are fire signs. They're trine to each other. Moon is going to be moving into the perfect trine, the gibbous moon. So I woke up in a pretty good mood today. Expect that to last for like another day, hopefully. And let's get into it. Oh, I wanted to mention on my table, I don't know if I can make you guys see this. On my table, I found like the smallest little gem. You can't see that. But like I don't even know what it's from. I checked all my jewelry and I have no idea. But what came to me was that for the past, I don't know, few months while I've been praying or like connecting, communing with source, with spirit, a little tiny fruit fly or like a fungus gnat, I think it's a fruit fly, will like float over and like rest on my hand or rest on the card or rest on a stone. And so like I now have fruit fly guides. I don't know about y'all. I've had a lot of bird guides and I've got my cat familiars, but like now I got a fruit fly guide. And I saw this little itty bitty gem that doesn't look like it's from, can you see it glinting? I don't know, from anything. And I just thought like, oh my god, a gift from the fruit fly. He transmuted. I don't know, guys. So anyway, that's what came to me today. Um, and then I was connecting in for my own messages because this is my reading that I'm just sharing with y'all because it's about time. And my higher self is like dancing. She's just happy about everything. But also, me too. So, as whenever you do kind of any working or any magic, you've got to take an action afterward to like seal it and set it and show universe that you are matching intention with them. Oh my god, you are still going to get seasick because this is wobbling all around. Apologies, team. If you like the content but you hate the quality, consider supporting the channel. Anyway, so I'm going to try and do some dancing after this as a way to like commune and commemorate and say like I heard you and I'm with you. So feel free to do that as well. Do a little jig, a little boogie after we're done. Okay, I did shuffle these cards previously. Oh, didn't this come up yesterday? Liberate? Prairie smoke? What reminds me I'm free? The other thing that came up for me is, so first I do like a mundane journal where I just kind of do a mind dump, and then I do my breath work and I like pull an oracle card, and then I get into like this is my spiritual book, this is my like normal book. And so this has never happened before in the few weeks that I've been doing this. Yesterday and today I got the same oracle card, but it was reversed today. So yesterday I was upset and I needed to soothe with the river card. Today it was reversed, and so what came to me was that, we maybe take a rest day when we're feeling really bad, and then the next day we've got energy, so we're like, okay, I'm ready, I'm gonna go do everything. But maybe instead we take a second rest day and we enjoy the rest. Huh? Like maybe if you're too upset day one to like watch the movies that make you feel good and you're just like down all day, next day when you do feel good, it's not time for real life. It's time to get out there. It's time to like sit and watch those movies you like and like have all the relaxing, regulating fun, like the things that regulate you in like a positive way to take you from baseline up instead of just needing to go from like below ground to baseline. So that's what came through for me, okay? Like the message is still move slow. Why? Because Mercury's in retrograde, Mars is freaking slow right now. Everybody's coming out of their stations. So Saturn's slow, Neptune's slow, Jupiter's moving pretty slowly. So like just still chill out, yeah? Okay. Let's carry on. I wasn't going to share that message and then it came out anyway. So I hear you, Spirit. Thank you so much. That first deck is Prairie Majesty Oracle. This is a Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. And this is Green Witch's Oracle. Okay, looking for the Moon card. And what she has to tell us about today. What are we learning from Moon in Aries? Hope you're not annoyed by the humming. It's gonna get worse. Usually while I'm shuffling and I'm setting in, I go through like a kind of melody, and that's like the melody of the day. Okay, here we go, right at the end. I'm gonna do 5 because it's just right at the end. Do Moon. Okay, nice. Moon, moon, moon. I actually consider that there's 2 moon cards in the Rider-Waite-Smith because the High Priestess has that gorgeous crescent moon at her feet. And so I think I'm going to pull both of those. Kind of as like the moon and then like the internal aspect of ourselves as the moon. Okay, that's too impressive. So I'm just going to do the 3. 1, 2, 3. But look at the cards that came after that were like still behind the moon. Okay, I would be pulling the whole deck if I could. Oh no way, I've got to. There's no way I've got to do that. I am gonna pull them because moon card was right behind. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Moon. Oh damn team. That's a lot. Let me show you why I said oh damn. So it was these 3 cards that came out after Empress, Emperor, Ace of Cups. So like that's pretty cool. And then King of Pentacles, the Moon, and the Queen of Pentacles. What are the odds? Let me rearrange. Allow me to rearrange. Can you see her? Just barely. Good. Good. Oh. Oh. Look at us connecting. Otherworldly and within. Wonderful. Wow. Wow. Okay. This card is stalking us. Yesterday, Star and Sun came out together. Today, Moon and Sky have come out together. So that's lots of fun. That's lots of fun. Okay, and then we'll just pull a nice... New planetary cycle. Sandalphon is the archangel who used to be a person. So you call on Sandalphon if you're like, oh my god, please help me with this human experience and this human life. Planetary cycles, like, I'm all about the astrologies. And new. Okay, love that. Love that. Moon is in Aries. Fresh energy. Okay, I'm going to start from the bottom here so I can read this card. We'll go to the back. Moon. Internal, introverted, reflective, hidden, subconscious, contemplative, fluid, gentle, soft. Phases, cycles, releasing, going with the flow, dreamy, emotional. So these cards are supposed to speak to the movement of energy. So it's internal energy, reflective, lunar energy, and then sky, expansive, freeing, open, big picture, blank slate, imagination, observation, thought process. Right? Nice. And then we can look at this one. Oh, so this mallard says dabble. It says, what would help me feel safe in opening up? And it talks about when this guy's head is underwater and his tail feathers are sticking up. He's like filtering in what he needs, and he's only getting what is good for him. And so it talks about, can you like filter what's coming in through you? Let's just read it. I don't need to know everything. Ooh. Just reading the card. Activate your discernment. Whatever comes across your radar, use your intuition to screen it. This whole operation depends on what your filters are set to. Challenge yourself to be honest, take ownership of your filters, which is your core beliefs, and overcome cognitive dissonance. Being open includes a willingness to receive new information and choosing to change. If you feel a pull to someone or something new, can you give yourself permission to be open without fear? You can dabble, which is to say, get more information, and then discern if it feels nutritious to you. Have you ever seen a mallard with his face under the water and his tail straight up in the air? That's his version of filtering. His bill is lined top and bottom with rows of tiny blades called the lamellae, a built-in filter that traps food while keeping out anything inedible. Try it and see what you discover. And it says dabble. So you don't need to jump in. You're allowed to get your feet wet and then decide to get out. You're allowed to be excited for something and try it and then be like, oh, that doesn't feel good at all. And then bail, right? Oh my god, there's a moon on this card. What? Okay, sorry I yelled. Got really excited. Okay, so we're really opening up our intuition and trusting that we can trust our intuition. And not thinking like, oh, well, I was excited about that and I was drawn to it and now it hurts and so I can't trust. It's an ongoing process. It's not a one-time permission, live your life. It's a constant communion that we're going through, right? The filters are always up. We're always ingesting, we're always taking things in. And this might be like a totally new phase that we're in where we're able to trust our body but also give it grace, right? It's a whole learning experience. And then what reminds me I'm free, because I didn't read this yesterday. Let's read it today. Density of form and feeling is part of the human experience, but we don't have to center our consciousness there. How can we feel into an alternative understanding? The ethereal floral wisps atop prairie smoke, which is like a grass or like a plant, are a helpful visual for expanding your sense of self as eternally free. In bud form, her flowers hang down, tightly enclosed by sepals. Soon, Bumblebee forces its way in, intent on accessing the early springtime nectar. Pollination and fertilization eventually lead to the flowers upright, erupting into rosy, gauzy glory. In due time, sunshine dries and wind disperses these seed heads, which begin the cycle over again. A prairie smoke sighting suggests something is ready to unlock. She offers clues for soul searching, though the opening is up to you. Is there anything weighing you down or closing you in? Sometimes a break-in is needed for the breakthrough. Maybe an external circumstance is forcing confrontation or change, whether desired or not. What if it's part of your fertilization process? It could be an important growth opportunity, or maybe you're picking up on heaviness without knowing why exactly. Regardless, Prairie Smoke encourages you to actively shift without judgment or condemnation. Blue cards are feeling cards, judge without or feel without judgment. Regardless, Prairie Smoke encourages you to actively shift without judgment or condemnation through the power of your own choice right in this moment. How does your body feel if you focus on a higher vibrating energy such as love, gratitude, or compassion? What beliefs naturally generate a feeling of freedom inside? Meditate on what would help you reframe, right? Oh, so what I paused there for a little bit because I was like, oh, this flower requires a bee to like wiggle his way in, her way in, because most of them are going to be females. I guess that's only honeybees. Anyway, a bee is going to wiggle its way in, which sets off this whole growth cycle process for this plant. And we've got a bee here. We've got a bee right here. And they're both reverse, which makes me think internal. I don't think it's going to be like an external thing. I think it's going to be like a bee in your bonnet. It's going to be like this little subtle, maybe it's come before and we've ignored it and we haven't let it in and we haven't then been able to have the flowers rise, right? Let's look at this picture. Can I show you? These downward flowers, bee will go into them, which will make them pop up, yeah? And then wisp away. I believe is what the card has described. Girls, I don't go outside, so I could not verify for you, okay? You will not find me out there. Um, and then this one is summer expansion and growth. So I think it's like internal expansion and growth. You got a little bee in your bonnet, you got a little, maybe I should try that. Maybe it's time to change. Maybe I'm not so like controlling or connected or tied or obsessed with being in this unchanged, unfertilized, unpollinated, safe little closed up space. And I want to expand, but we're expanding internally. We're expanding our intuition. We're expanding how we trust and react and work with our intuition moving forward in this new cycle. Yeah? Okay, let's go up to this oracle and then we'll do this whole big row at the end. So this moon card is river. Isn't it pretty? Oh my god, I love these ones. Phases, cycles, intuition. These crystals are all at the bottom, and these plant and animals are at the top. And so these are going to go through more rapid transformation. So maybe that's what's rising up. Maybe that's what's coming out, especially in this upcoming full moon. Like maybe that's what's got to come through is the unfurled form, the finished form of these transformations. But these rocks being at the bottom of the card because it's reverse, I think speaks to grounding again. Like we're in the body. We're paying attention to our actual reality because this is ongoing and this is served by us being like here feeding ourselves in a multitude of ways, right? So if you feel like your spiritual hygiene is like up to par, but maybe you're like really not taking care of your body like with food or substances, maybe we need to recenter that, right? Add some filters. What really actually feels good, and just let that continue to be a dialogue. Yeah. Moon loves talking. Third house is the joy of the moon. She loves a good gossip, you know? Okay. And then we have pine tree, vitality, longevity, perseverance. I'm going to read all of these. I love the books. I love using the books. It makes me feel like it's not really me who's doing it. Like it's really spirit. Do you know what I mean? Have you given up on something you shouldn't have? You got a little bee in your bonnet? You got some project you were interested in? Maybe now is the new cycle. Maybe now it's appropriate to get into it. Maybe you've just been a pine cone in waiting for a long time, and now it's time to do. Pine is a popular building material. It absorbs shock, it is resistant to excessive swelling and shrinking, and although it dents easily, it is long lasting. Oh my God, the poor body that dents easily, but we're just so resilient, aren't we? I hate the word resilience. Like, I don't want to be resilient. I'm sick of going through stuff that makes me resilient. And yet, life goes on. Summer, expansion, growth. What parts of your life can you expand to feel more fulfilled? The internal parts, our internal dialogue, and how we use that to feed ourselves and feel free within our choice, and within our bodies. Broom, energy cleansing, freshening. Broom is really close up to the front. It's the first one because it's a witch deck, you know? I see you, Arin. What areas of your life need to be straightened up, dusted off, and refreshed? Internal. Yeah? Internal. 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 Internal expansion needs to be refreshed. The idea, maybe we hit a wall and thought this is it for us. This is all the meaning I have. This is all the connection I have. This is the limit of my intuition. But no, baby, we are expanding. And if you filter properly and you kind of go through the whatever discomfort there may be from letting this little bee in your bonnet in, it's going to help us bloom. Yeah? So we need to maybe freshen up the idea that we're at a limit, that there is no more expansion. Hmm? Or that this project that we abandoned had hit its limit, right? Like I've been meaning to get on the YouTube for a long ass time. And here I am. Ta-da! And then finally leaves. I really like to use this card as leave because it says leave on it, but that's not what it means. It means if you pay attention to the environment that you're in, especially the leaves and like the growth from plant matter, you're gonna be more connected to your environment. You're gonna be able to see how things are doing because you'll have like a baseline of how things should look. And then if there's like mildew on the leaves, you know what's up, or if they're turning orange or whatever. Just to stay consistent, let's read it. Let's read the little blurb. So the card themselves have like a couple words, and then there's like a little question to read, and then a whole thing. Do you need to pay more attention to your feelings and intuition? Wow. We're really hitting today with the intuition cards. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, cards. Thank you, Source. Thank you, guides. Thank you, viewers, for being here. Okay. And now let's get into these two moon cards. So they're both reverse. So reverse moon card is a change, a new cycle, something for the better, especially if you've been going through a hard time. Thank you, planetary cycles. Thank you, Sandalphon. And then reverse high priestess, she knows some stuff you are not allowed to know, right? But it also speaks to not a time for stillness, time to get up and move a little bit. And so maybe our intuition could be served with the like little bit of discomfort of expanding outward into the world, right? Being attracted to something and then going and trying it and not being too scared or not saying like, no, I don't have the resources, I can't. It's not gonna work. Why even bother? Time to try some stuff. It's time to lean into the intuition and act on it instead of just listen and bide your time and listen and bide your time. Because you can always get out. You don't have to commit. You can just try stuff. What's flanking this? Return to nature and an upgrade in your work, potentially into a spiritual upgrade. So maybe when we think, ooh, it's pretty nice, I could go for a walk, maybe we actually have to do it. Tragic, I don't want to. You won't find me out there, is what I had said. Love using the books. If you're really annoyed by that, I'm probably not the channel for you, okay? The essential connection to nature may be lost or threatened, and she can become irritable, aggressive. She may close herself off from family and friends. And then for the 8, frustration or dissatisfaction with a situation, possible need to make long-range plans, moving to a higher level in some important aspect of life. This could apply to relationships or family as well as work. So maybe we've been frustrated as all get out by the slow pace of just what's been going on lately. But it's a slow time, right? So this isn't a time to sit and wallow in what's going to happen, get a little bit busy, try some stuff, do something to fill up your time, that builds on this relationship, this internal relationship. Moving in further, we are sitting very nice and moving on from like the grief and the woe and the doubt. Sure, that's still there, but we are going to move on into what's left, right? There is more to expand into, and it's an internal expansion. This guy's covered in bulls, Taurus, and grapes. And I believe he's quite a spiritual figure. I'm just going to read this as well, and then I'll stop. Wealth, success, comfort, security. He may focus on material things, but more with satisfaction and pride than selfishness or obsession. He can, in fact, be very generous, a good card in any reading that concerns looking for work or material support from someone. I'm using Rachel Pollack's The New Tarot Handbook. Love it. Love it. Okay, so maybe we've been disconnected from our nature, particularly in our work, like really bummed about it. Oh my goodness, my light, that's okay. And maybe we've been looking for like an upgrade in that work or like a change, a better challenge. We want to do better work. Our cycle is changing. If we can act, how do we act? We move on from the grief and we move into the love and the dreams that are still here for us to receive. The new work that you're sitting in is going to be quite fecund, quite fertile, right? We don't need to worry about, I think, repeating this energy in the new cycle. But it's going to require that we really care for the self in all aspects, including saying no to the stuff that doesn't fill our cup, but also allowing things to end. She is sitting in an environment that does not last. That wheat has to be cut down, the river will freeze, the leaves on the trees will fall, even all the cushions she's sitting on outside, they're going to have to come in before the weather changes. That doesn't mean she doesn't enjoy this space, she enjoys it fully. But it does end, and she accepts that. She doesn't cling, she doesn't demand that this is available all the time. Her dress is covered in, I believe, pomegranate, so it's all about like enjoying the fruits of the season while they're in season. And so maybe that's what we have to move into, right? Like a seasonal appreciation, a seasonal devotion of what's here now for us, instead of always thinking about what's gone or what's left. And then what's central in all of this was the reverse emperor. So reverse emperor is not making mid and long range plans. He's just kind of in the here and now. Here and now. What do we need now, right? Focus on the body. Do we need any more context for the tarot? Snack time, balance, moving on. Okay, right? We're moving on. We're not stuck on the old stuff. We're letting ourselves flow on. This card upright is like you've maybe in a past life or in this life, you're flowing down the river and then you find a rock and you tie your ship to the rock and you're like, oh, good. But you don't need to, that's not the rock for you. You're supposed to be on the river. You're supposed to be flowing. So we've untied ourselves from that. However painful it may have been, or however much we thought this is where we're supposed to be, we're not. We're supposed to flow. We're moving on. Balance speaks to you have been doing too much. You have been doing too much, so sit and rest and receive. Snack time. What are we eating? What are we bringing in? But also, are we allowing ourselves to just enjoy the body and nature? Probably not, if she's reverse, right? But these cards are on the outside of the moon cards. And so, I believe this is what's falling away. A need to upgrade and a need to return to nature. We're going to do that by activating our intuition. Not sitting still in it, but activating it. We're moving on into like a more material and spiritually satisfying life, into new dreams and love. we're really caring for ourselves in the moment. It's not a time to like commit to what was, and it's not even a time to be like, "Okay, I'm gonna be the boss here. I'm gonna make it all happen." Eat. Take a load off. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, that's what I got. Happy mood messages, team. I hope that was helpful for anybody. Certainly helpful for me. A lot of moon, like intuition. There's a moon here. Crazy. Correct. Can't believe this came out 3 times now. Wow. Wow. What do we have to let in that might be a little bit uncomfortable? Might feel like a little bit of an invasion, but it's a perfectly natural process of becoming free and spreading our seeds naturally with the wind and the sun. Hmm? What's coming up for me right now is the idea that like spiritual awakenings are kind of rough for a lot of people because you got to let go of a lot of stuff. A lot of the things that you thought like that's the way it is, old identities, old emotions, um, old paradigms. Maybe the bee in your bonnet that's trying to come in is like a spirit guide or a message from source or like a connection that we've been kind of like, no, I'm not strong enough for that, or I don't have the skills for that. I'm not on that level, or like not yet, not now. But if we can just sit in nourishing ourselves, building this relationship with intuition, paying attention to the projects that keep calling to us. What are these bees in our bonnets? What just keeps coming up? Have you been thinking about, oh, I should be on the YouTube for like 10 years? And then thinking, oh, I should put the tarot and the astro on YouTube for like 3 years? Okay, it's time to do it. It's time to do it, my team, okay? Okay, I think that's what I got for you. Blessings. Happy Moon Day. Girl, rest, 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 rest. Have some nice snacks. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the nice fire energy. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for Mars's messages. Okay. Okay, bye.